Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The Officer Improvement Committee has selected Deputy Stephen Hill and Deputy Christopher Hooten as Deputies of the Month for January 2020. And the award reads as follows. On July 2nd, 2019, at 0200 hours, 3 kayakers were in the center of Sarasota Bay when their watercraft capsized, forcing them into the water. Deputy Stephen Hill and Deputy Christopher Hooten arrived on scene within minutes and could hear the victims screaming that someone was drowning and unable to swim. The deputies could not see them with their spotlights or night vision equipment. The Coast Guard and Sarasota Sheriff's Office were notified, but it was learned that there could be an extended response time. Based on the circumstances of the victims in a state of panic and the extended response of backup, Deputies Hill and Hooten made the decision to enter the water in an attempt to assist the victims. As they were swimming out, they came across one of the victims who was able to tread water and directed her to swim back to shore. The deputies swam on and continued to call out to the other 2 victims until ultimately finding them approximately 1 mile off ashore. One victim was unable to stay above the surface and had ingested water, while the other victim was screaming he was drowning. Deputy Hill placed the first victim's head on his shoulder and kept his head above water so he could breathe. Deputy Hooten grabbed the same victim's legs and held him up to the surface. They then grabbed the second victim and pulled him behind in a tow. The deputies began swimming towards the shore for approximately 10 minutes, at which point a Coast Guard vessel arrived and they were able to retrieve them from the water. Deputy Hooten was able to use his flashlight to signal their position to the vessel. After arriving back at the shore, the first victim, who was able to swim on her own, was reunited with the other victims. These deputies put their lives at risk by entering the water in the middle of the night to save others. Their heroic and selfless efforts saved the lives of all 3 victims, for which Deputy Stephen Hill and Deputy Christopher Hooten are awarded the Deputy of the Month for January 2020. Signed, Rick Wells, Sheriff, Manatee County.